What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs podcast. I'm Jay Ingersoll.
What's up, Jay? It's your boy Mod.
What's up, man? I see you way over there.
Yeah, I'm over here because we're buried in snow.
Yeah, it was supposed to get worse this afternoon. That's why I just texted you earlier, and I was just like, let's just try this one, in the comfort of our own homes today.
Yeah, we can. I think we can do this.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little learner's curve, but how you doing today? Watch some football yesterday?
Yeah, I watched some football last night. I watched a good game with the the Bills and the Broncos, and man, it was a good one. And unfortunately, the winner comes out, and the coach comes out at the podium afterwards, and he says, "Got some really bad news. Our quarterback broke his ankle on the second to last play. He's out for the season." And I was like, "Damn!"
Is that Bo Nix dude?
Yeah.
Like
so. Yeah, second year guy just seems like he's one of those guys when he speaks and you listen to him, he just seems like a really good, well-mannered, nice young man, like 21 or 22. Like he seems really young, I guess. So you hate to see it. And it's one of those things that I was rooting for the other team, and then the other team wins and you're like, "Oh, shame, whatever." And then the bad news comes and you're like, "Oh, now it just feels like everybody lost." Like the whole thing just feels like a double L.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but other than that, I've been enjoying some time with the wife and the kid, and just chilling, just trying to stay inside and stay warm, brother. How about you? How's things on your end?
Just a little busy right now. Just Shauna's in school, and been working some over and stuff at work. So, just trying to squeeze everything in. But it's been cool, man. Been just doing the same, trying to spend as much time with the fam. I've been kind of picked up the basketball card hobby again lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something I always kind of did when I was younger, but now Easton's getting into it, so it's kind of our thing to go to the card shop and pick up some cards and pull some packs, and then some of my Facebook, like when I'm doom scrolling, I should say a majority of it, besides the stuff that's pushed on us, is like just dudes like selling cards and opening up packs and stuff. I don't know. It's just a fun kind of hobby. So I was like, I've been getting back into that a little bit lately, especially with the Pistons being good and so many good players out there now too, so. But yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a hobby that I used to have myself. I used to collect quite a few of the cards. Man, I just see the money just leaving my pocket. Now that's a hobby you can make your money back on though. Like we talk about having a hobby that can kind of pay for itself.
Yeah.
The card collecting is one of those if you're smart about it. If you're not married to every card that you buy as like some sort of sentimental value.
Right.
But if you do some business with some of them, you're like, "Oh, I know that card's hot, or I'm going to want to hold on to that one and then sell it later." But then there's others, like for me, I would get I would run out and see what's it cost for a Joe Montana rookie card, because that was my hero growing up. And he's not like the most coveted rookie card anymore, And I would get like a Matthew Stafford rookie card because that's my dog.
Right.
And then I would get like the Jared Goff because that's my quarterback, So I would get, there's several that I would get, and I could see it going like, well, now I got to get a couple of their wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
it's an easy. It's an easy way to, it's kind of like the pop figures in your background there. You know what I mean? You get one, and you're like, "Oh, this one's cool, and this one's cool," But also, I don't know the last time you've been to Lang's down in the mall.
In the last couple months since Halloween,
that place is insane, dude. Like you can just stand there and look at new things all day long, and they're all cool as shit. You're like, there's so many cool things. How much money does this dude have? Jeez, Pete's, dude.
You can tell I go to the mall by the things that you see behind me, know. So definitely go to Lang's. I bought an Ozzy Osbourne. It's right behind Darth Vader here. You can't really see it, but it's like a Bark at the Moon Ozzy Osbourne pop vinyl. Cool. So that one was a modest price, especially in light of the fact that he had recently passed. I was like, well, let me snatch one of them up because, before it becomes $500 and you can't own one, as a fan. Like I just wanted to own one as a fan for a modest price, so that was cool. Nice. But I get into collecting stuff, but and then I've been playing a little bit of music too, picking up the guitar, picking up the bass when I can. So just trying to get back into it when there's time for that as well. So
absolutely awesome, dude. Oh, cool. God. Well, today we are going to attempt to do this reaction episode over Zoom because this is the first time we've ever done one of those. But playing a little bit of catch up here in 2026, but we don't know when these will be out, so we'll just film as many of these as they keep sending them. If we got time and we got the open space, we'll just keep doing that, right?
Absolutely.
We are starting to get some inquiries for interviews and everything, so we'll be updating the calendar and assuming we get together next week, we'll talk a little bit more about the game plan and everything. But for this episode, we're going to get into this. We got 8 submissions, like always, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And Nick and I were going to have to play a little game of 3, 2, 1 here, just because for some reason the audio, you're not being able to hear that. But with a little more time, maybe we can set that up so that works correctly. But for today, are you ready to get into some music, brother?
I sure hope so. I'm queued up for the first one. The only thing that would stall us out is if they're going to smack me with a commercial, but they usually don't on the first one. So
okay, cool. So the first band that sent this in, it was actually a dude, and says, "Hello guys, not sure what information you need, but I'll send you this. The Absence signed with Metal Blade Records in 2005. We released From Your Grave in 2005. We released Riders of the Plague in 2007. We released Enemy Unbound in 2010. In my firm opinion, I think Riders of the Plague was our best record. We had Jonas Kjellgren of Scar Symmetry, engineer and mix and master. You can listen to Riders of the Plague on Spotify or YouTube." And it says here, we'll go through it real quick. Members: Jamie Stewart on vocals, Jeremy Kling on drums, Peter Joseph on lead guitars, Patrick Pintaval on lead guitars, and guest musicians, we got James Murphy of Death Testament, Disincarnate, Per Nilsson from Scar Symmetry and Meshuggah, James Kjellgren of Carnal Forge and Scar Symmetry, and Jonas Granvik, of Edge of Sanity. So, man, some heavy hitters on this album.
A lot of names I happen to know from listening to metal over the years, so I'm immediately impressed by what I'm reading. I like the artwork that I'm looking at, and I expect to have my face melted in a mere couple of seconds here.
And I will say, I don't think this is an active band, which usually we try to do active bands, but with that kind of resume, I'm excited to hear this because this might be some banger stuff, you know? So,
yeah,
like, we're always looking for new music, period. Yeah. And if this guy reached out, he's probably like, I'm pretty proud of this.
Yeah.
Somebody listen to it, right?
Yeah. Brother, I feel you in my soul.
Right, exactly.
Yes, please. I am here for you. I am here for that too. Yeah, with a list like that, all those names and this body of work that he had just rattled off the resume there, I'm excited to hear this. And like you said, sometimes you miss some things and it's new to you, right?
Right.
So today, this is new to me, so I'm excited to hear this.
All right, so you just let me know when you're ready. We're going to go with this Riders on the Plague here.
Riders of the Plague, track 1 I got.
Plague.
Okay. All right, we're going to give it the old 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
All right, let's try it.
3, 2, 1.
Salvation, heroes flood, he dies alive, the bitter of the aggression.
dude.
I mean, so
wow.
There's some professional death metal right there. I mean, that's what you want to sound like at the end of the day. Ooh. So, God. So where to begin, right? Checks all the boxes for me. Melodic, heavy, sick vocals. They went to that almost like a deathcore moment. Like, well, they're ahead of their time with that super sick low growl. I was like, these guys are from how far back in time?
Yeah.
And then I like the dynamics when you get past that into like that bridge section where it just kind of dropped down a little bit. In the mix, like it was sitting like, was it like one guitar there?
Yeah. Kind of before the solo kicked in and everything.
Well, one of the solos, right? Which I also got to like just shine a light on because those were some shredders, and that's what I want lead guitar to sound like. And I'm happy to hear that in my metal when I'm listening to stuff. Does every song need a solo? I don't know, but I like them. I always do, and a couple is fine as long as it's not like what I don't like is 5 solos in a row. Usually, usually that gets a little bit boring. But these guys peppered them in, so they absolutely crushed it. So, man, that was amazing. I loved it. So that's a professional metal band right there who did the damn thing, in my opinion. So, Riders of the Plague, The Absence, Jay, your take, your thoughts?
I absolutely thought it was one of the best things we've ever heard on this show, period, just because of the way my tastes are with how melodic it was. And just, like you said, it did tick all the boxes. It was groovy. There was songwriting there with the callbacks with that riff that was like, da-na-na. So you kind of gave me that chord structure with that little riff callback. So even in the solo, so I kind of knew where I was at. Still in the same song, we're still in the same universe, but absolutely phenomenal. Everything was awesome about it. It didn't get crazy grindy or anything like that.
No.
But also it was just the double bass was kicking, the whole time. You're hearing kind of like some At the Gates in there, some Carcass, some Arch Enemy, things like that, kind of some of the Swedish stuff, but everything that I really love in metal, period, that thing was. And I see why this dude should still be reaching out and telling people about it. Like, hey, check out this band I was in because we wrote some cool stuff for sure.
Yeah, 100%. They wrote some cool stuff. It sounds relevant right here and now today. Like this band could pick it back up, come out of retirement or get back together and get on the road, man. Like,
sure.
It sounds like that to me. I'm like, hey, man, there's a resurgence of metal going on. Maybe you guys might do better now than you did before just because you sound sick and you belong. Sick. You belong on a stage again, man. I don't know if there's any reason that can't happen, but I would now my eyes would be turned to this band. If I see that name, I'm going to, 100%. Now that's a show I want to go to. So great send in. Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome. I will be telling people about this band for sure.
Amen.
All right, cool. Moving on. It says, hello, we are happy to send you Perpetual Rage's new album, Finland. Imperative Music Agency is officially the promo agency for Perpetual Rage. We'll be providing public relations services to them. We sent by WeTransfer. The band self-released the album, so your support is in providing a review would be huge help. Could you interview the band? They'd be grateful. I'm not sure about that. Thank you for your support. Kind regards, Gilson de Aruda. And then Imperative Music Agency. So they sent us a bunch of MP3s, not like a site. So we're going to have to... You'll just have to let me know when you're ready for this. And
so I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 songs and a biography PDF.
Yep.
And then I see at the very bottom, The Beginning. Is that also, is that a track at the very bottom?
Yeah, that must be.
Yeah, the one that one's 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
The one at the very bottom. Let's go with that one.
All right.
Ready?
From the beginning. Yeah, try.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
So you can feel this, the endless pain. We are fire. Our sky will never fall. No danger for required. Feel the flame that you recall. You can live these barren lands while you into our lives. Don't hide your mortal name when new age comes inside. I'm the one who's free from sin, first you cast a stone. I'm the last and only one, and I'm through it all. The other side of midnight, where black shadows move. I stand proud and fearless, I have nothing to prove. My angels breathing fire, our sky will never fall. No danger for required. Feel the flame that you recall. My angel breathing fire. My angels breathing fire, our sky will never fall. No danger for required. Feel the flame that you recall. My angel breathing fire. My angel breathing fire, breathing fire. Fire. Feel the flame.
All right, I felt that flame. That was Perpetual Rage with My Angels Breathing Fire.
Okay.
So not usually a style I normally listen to, but that was done really, really well. I liked
Great
it.
job.
It was
Yes.
like the production was nice and heavy. So if
Yeah.
you're going to sound like nice, heavy guitar tones, because a thin guitar tone and a weak drum tone would have totally killed that and kind of put
Right.
it in that like more old school type metal. But
You're right.
man, that was just heavy metal, dude. That
Yes.
was just heavy metal. You
Yeah,
know?
and well done.
Yeah, along the lines of like maybe an Iron Maiden or that style of just
Priest.
straight up, Priest, just straight up heavy metal. And that was done really well. Like I said, the production was great on it. Nice low end, thick through there. The vocalist really knew what he was doing. I'm glad I don't have his job because it's probably not easy. You know,
he's good. He's
but
really good.
that was done really well. It had some of the horse riding and happy beats, so that's not really something normally I put on because that's not ever a mood I'm in just to get on the horse usually. But other than that, I mean that is par for the course for that, and that was done really well. Like you've said before on the show, Nick. Sometimes even if it's not a thing that you love, if it's done really well, it's hard to deny, and I think that was definitely an example of that. So, what do you think, brother?
100%. I agree with everything you said. Musically, I was feeling something. Oh God, just like I would call it biker metal. I could just see
sure.
if you're into Overkill, maybe, but this was even more just that steady in the pocket beat than even Overkill will throw a couple of different things at you. But I could just see these guys being like a fan of that, and like you said, like the Judas Priest, some of the early heavy metal. But these guys really well done with what their style of music is, and I couldn't help but enjoy it and have fun. That one riff in there was so crunchy, like they went to like the augmented, like they weren't power chords, they were like them fourth chords, and I was just like, I love it when you get into that, almost like a drop D effect, but it was really thick. I love that. I love the rhythm. They had a great lead player and a great vocalist. Like these guys sound like they knew what they were doing. The whole unit was tight. Everybody was on the same page. The bass was in the mix, had a good tone.
Yep.
Everything was like just downstrokes, heavy metal, pedal, pin the pedal to the floor, just go, open it up. I loved it. Good stuff. I listened to it. When it's somebody else's thing and they're like, hey man, you heard this? I'm like, I've heard it. And then they put it on for you. I'm like, I enjoy it.
Right.
Maybe even, oh God, who are the guys? They do the song Doc Holliday. So they remind me of some things that I enjoy when other people put it on for me. And like you said, maybe not my first go-to,
right?
But I'm always gonna love when a band does their thing and they do it really well. There's some bands that do some things I really appreciate, but they could clean it up. But these guys, there's not anything you can clean up. For me, I just say get heavier always.
Yeah, and that would require firing your vocalist, and so I don't do all that. But
no, I ain't got to go that far. But with their vocals, the only thing I was going to say as far as like not even just what I was hearing, I was like, man, if somebody had a Fry vocal at like just spots to back him up. Yeah. Like I could hear the two going. I could imagine like a little bit of Fry vocal with this guy just to give it a little bit more edge.
A little more
to push it. Just a pinch of Fry in there would just take this thing over the top for me. But a great send-in. Absolutely love it. Perpetual Rage.
I will mention this too. The way they sent it in was top notch. They sent a bunch of photos. They sent all the songs. They sent a whole like everything. That they can send us like a whole biography and everything.
Yep.
I'm not going to go through and read all that. But it's just nice when,
on air.
Right. I mean, but it's nice when bands, send you more than what you even need just so you can get all the information about the band. Because, some bands send stuff in and you're like, man, does this band even exist? Because it's hard to find, so.
Yeah.
Professional photos, the artwork's cool. So, like,
all their contact information, their story and their bio, it's brief. It's a page and a half, it's not like they buried me in text. It's an easy, quick, history on the band. So yeah, great stuff, guys. Appreciate everything you did for us there.
Cool. All right. So moving on, it says, hope this finds you with horns high. We are Endurus, 4-piece death groove metal band hailing from Tampa, Florida. We would like to share our new music video, and then MP3 is attached. They got some cool promo photos they sent us as well. Spotify link in their whole link tree, so thank you for that. And it says, Endurus is a band from a scene where death metal has gained a lot of fame. After all, they hail from Tampa, Florida, the land that gave the world names like Death, Obituary, Morbid Angel, and the like. And this imposes responsibility on any lineup that comes from there and makes extreme metal. And then it says, Endurus does just that. And on their newest single, Death Grip, they prove that they can do it while still sounding modern. Unconcerned with sticking to pre-established formulas, the group delivers fresh death metal complete with a well-balanced groove and more modern approach that honors the style without forcing it. So, man, you got me intrigued because this sounds like something I would really want to listen to. So, we're going to open this link real quick.
I see.
I'm going to try to pause it real fast. I did. And then let me know when you have it up and you're paused, and we'll 3, 2, 1 it. Oop.
Yeah. I got it at 0 and paused. I can roll it whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Maybe about 30 seconds of credits left. Yeah. Good
time. That was great. This one's you, buddy.
Yeah, so good job. Reminds me of the brutal death metal that was coming out of Tampa early on before we get into like the Death Human era and we get into the more progressive stuff. This is more like the Obituary, scream, bloody gore. Well, without the high pitched screams, but yeah, really cool stuff. I mean, you can tell that they're from that area and they do a good job of carrying the torch from that. You know, I saw that headstock and I said, "Boy, you're missing a headstock. You better play me a solo." and he did. So good job on that. They utilized a lot with their chosen riffs. They kind of seem to like just utilize dynamics before shifting into like just palm mutes to open and just let the riffs that they used. They stayed right in the box with some of those and just kind of utilized dynamics really well and gave me a straight out of the oven hot death metal biscuit to to enjoy this Sunday morning. Jay, what about you on that one?
Yeah, I mean, definitely with that brutal death metal vibe. I love when he did come in with a solo, just as his first thing off top of mind. Kind of had that reverby, almost like old school Chuck, sometimes Alan West, even Trey, reverb on it. So even the solo kind of, had that vibe going. But yeah, and then when they broke it down at the end, that's kind of more of the modern style that they're talking about. But this is kind of just straightforward death metal. There's not a lot of technicality going on. But I thought it was awesome. The video was funny. I think it's like that, like fit the whole theme of it perfect and kind of just death metal, not really taking yourselves too seriously because it was kind of comical at the same time, but also brutal. So it kind of just really fit the theme of their band, and they're packaged very well of what they do, and I think they do a great job, especially with this, quote or whatever that they sent us, this snippet, because I believed everything it said in there, But the playing was very tight, very brutal. The dude's vocals were pretty cool as far as straight up death metal, and he had a little bit of range on him, and like I said, the breakdown was really heavy too. So, one other thing I wanted to mention that I noticed too, like when they went to that, it was weird because like we've said this before, but there was like some new metal in that death metal because it kind of went to that bass, and then he was almost even doing the little scratchies on the guitar and everything, and even the beat he was playing was like almost a new metal type thing, and I'm just like, yeah, there's new metal in there too. I heard that, whether that was intentional or whatever, but to me that's what I heard, because you could have went off into a whole different song and it would have been a new metal song after that, so
I did feel that too when they dropped down to just the bass and it was just like
and he was kind of more funky kind of beat. It wasn't like groove grinding or anything, like so
it was fun.
It was good. It was great. Thanks so much for the send-in, dudes. That ruled.
Endurus with two-step verification. We've all been there. I felt like that video 100 times. It maybe in the last year alone, just like with the technology.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's see. We are moving on now, and this says, "Hello, we are an industrial goth horror metal band out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, called Horror Scene, formerly Suicide Puppets. We had to rebrand due to algorithms and Google not liking the word suicide. We just released our first single under our new name. The song is called Welcome to Your Hell and was produced by Dan Melch from Ghost and Gojira, or it must be he produced them as well. We would love your reaction. All the best, Horror Scene." Oh, now, we've had another industrial goth horror metal band on the show before, have we not? I don't think this is the first time we've had this style on the show.
I'll be a better judge of that after I've heard them, and I can tell you if I've heard anything like it on this show or not. But I'm excited for it because I'm for Halloween all year. Like, Halloween every day. Let's go.
So I'm gonna open this link real quick. I'm gonna try to pause it before any racket happens. Maybe
it's all right. I'm all queued up.
You're all queued. All right. Mm-hmm. Let me just give it 1 sec here. Make sure it's loading correctly. All right. And ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right. It's on you, brother?
All right. Yeah, as far as that goes, another one that I wouldn't normally, like, if you explain this band to me, it wouldn't be something I would put on right away, but how man, that was done so well. That was great. That was just fantastic. And like
absolutely.
A lot of upbeat still, and I just don't really get into the techno, or I guess the, gothic type, whatever you want to call that. But man, that was so good. I just the songwriting was there. The guitar tones were there. Like it was like heavier than something you would normally, almost kind of like the Static X type, where it's that heavy sometimes, because he does the heavy vocals, and but still some of the happy dance beat kind of, rave type stuff or whatever. But I loved when they went to that singing chorus.
Yep.
Talking kind of singing chorus. Oh man, that was just fantastic. And the video was cool. I don't know why those people just stood there when they just seen that girl with a knife kill someone else. That was kind of weird. But other than that,
they were transfixed by the music.
All right, I didn't pick up that part of the plot, but I was just like, why did they just stand there?
They were mesmerized.
But that was great. The video was done well. I couldn't imagine how hard it was to shoot a video like that either, just because you got that many people involved and they all had their shirts on. And then another band we talked about on the last episode where the MRSA band, that like they took it serious. They have the paint, they have the look, they have the whole vibe. So you're still taking it serious, right? Like it's a whole involved effort. And I'm assuming they look like that all the time and not just for the video either, because this picture that they sent us looks like that. So it's a very serious thing. They take it very serious and they do it well. It great job, Horror Scene. That was absolutely cool. Loved it, dude. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, great job. They are exactly who they say they are. If you're looking at the YouTube description and you're reading that part, it says for fans of Motionless in White, Rob Zombie, Static X, Dope, Wednesday 13, and Rammstein. That's perfect. You guys nailed it. And you did a great job of it, because I'd honestly rather listen to you than those guys, just because I think you're doing a better job keeping it heavy, keeping it energetic, and playing the instruments and just kind of falling back on a little bit of that goth techno backing track, which is, it's cool. I love that stuff. I love Static X. I was a fan back in the day, as you will know. I saw them several times when Wayne was with them, with all of us, I should say. But great job. Had another solo in there for me. Really appreciate that. Great lead work, you know. So today's a great day for guitar solos. I wanted to touch on the drummers playing as well, as far as this goes, because whereas it would appear to be like a kind of almost a simple 1-2 beat in and throughout the song.
Sure.
First of all, they did break it down during the chorus, but overall, this guy just had great touch, and he decorated those beats really nice, where yes, it was on the upbeat and happy side, but he still managed to work in like toms that gave it a different feel when he would come back around to the beat like a third or fourth time or whatever. So he did a lot of great things decorating what could be stripped down, very simple beats. He did a lot of things to make those simple beats stand out to me, and I noticed his playing.
Yeah, good call.
And lastly, Jason, I just wanted to say, if I had asked you before we listened to this band, between the guy that plays the Les Paul and the guy that plays the Flying V, which one is going to play the guitar solo, what would you have said?
Definitely not the one that did.
So for me, and it's a stereotype, I just kind of wanted to, as a tangent, say this doesn't have anything to do with Horror Scene, but when I see a Les Paul, I think that's the guy that's going to play the guitar solo. They're usually the rock theory guys that play the blues solos.
Give
and
me
stuff.
them pentatonics.
Right, and then the guy with the Flying V, I'm thinking, is the guy that's going to like write the shred-tastic riffs, and he's going to be all the metalhead riff guy. But he did a great job of, countering that stereotype that I formulated in my own mind. And he was a great lead guitarist as well. Both of them great players, because that was a great song. That was fun.
That was great, dude. When it was done, I was like, I didn't, I seen the picture of the guys and I read the description, and you know what you like, and you know what you've encountered before that you may not like, and that might have been something I just would never reach for. But man, but when it was done, fun. I was like, this was excellent. They did a great job.
They did a great job with it. I appreciated it.
So, all right, moving on. Dark Eater. So I've been hearing about these guys for a while. So real quick, I'm just going to read you this little exchange between us. Hey guys, we're a 6-piece deathcore band from Dearborn named Dark Eater, and we are fans of your podcast and have seen many of our friends from the local metal scene on your show. We just dropped a new single called named Blood Legion, and wanted to get you guys to do a reaction to it. Please let us know how to go about this and if there's any cost involved. So then I messaged them back and said $10 million and we'll do it. And they didn't have that, so I just said we'll do it anyway. Then it says, we are Dark Eater, based out of Dearborn, Michigan, created in 2021 and actively playing live since 2023. We have one EP, which was released in 2024, and have since released our newest single, Blood Legion, as the first of 4 singles from our upcoming full-length album titled Defiled by the Abyss. In our current lineup, we are a 6-piece, including 3 guitars, bassist, drummer, and a vocalist. Our influences are MySpace-era deathcore, such as Suicide Silence and As Blood Runs Black, as well as tech death bands such as The Faceless and The Zenith Passage. We're big fans of the podcast, and many of our friends in the local scene have been featured on your show. We love what you're doing for the scene, and we are excited to share our music with you. Best regards, Ian Russell, Dark Eater. Well,
thanks, Ian.
That's exactly what we need, Ian. And what you told us will definitely make us want to listen to your music because it sounds amazing before I'm even hearing it. So it looks like this is a Spotify link. You already got it queued up, right, Nick?
Yep. Okay, it's ready to roll.
I'll just let you know when I'm ready, when I'm all ready here. So, all right, are you ready?
Yep, Blood Legion, correct?
Yep, Blood Legion by Dark Eater. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Oh yeah. Am I up?
Yes, you dog.
If I recall, man, that was great. I love that one, and they did a good job. Because at first I was a little bit scared with the early MySpace deathcore tag, that they mentioned. I was like, well, that could go either way because I remember a lot of that stuff being actual shit. Like, not specifically, not the bands that they named. Which,
right.
So I don't want to mix that up, but yeah, that was. I was like, well, we'll see what we get here. I actually loved it. As far as the music goes and the song is concerned, especially when you get to moments that I was watching the timestamps at about 90 seconds and about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It was like the second half of like the melodic chorus where you had like an intricate palm muted rhythm guitar, and then you'd had the one guy supplying an alternate line, and then that went into like a more shred-tastic line on like the third and fourth revolutions of that like chorus, I guess I would call it. But really cool stuff. I loved a lot of the riffs. I love the anger and the aggression. The recording is super raw, super duper raw in the lab, like getting that thing finally like printed. I would say the quality of that production is, something I would look at the end of the day. And that's not to be like a super harsh critique. I actually kind of like it. I just want to know, like, if we're going in that raw direction and not that super polished direction, that's fine because it actually pretty much works for this band. I just think that there was some like concerns on the kick drum, like that part to me needed to have a little bit more, dynamic presence. But I love the song. All in all, I absolutely love the song. I just want to be clear on that. And they did nail it on the good era of the deathcore, the MySpace era deathcore. So for sure, kudos to you guys on that one. Really well done. Love the song. Good stuff. Jason, your take?
A few things to take away from this. When they say MySpace era deathcore, it fits perfectly just because of like the song structure isn't really no structure, and the vocalist
but they did have callbacks.
Yeah, but the vocalist can kind of do what he wants over most of it too. So appreciate that, keeping it true to that. And it did say these guys were in 2021, so they're only 5 years in. I don't know how long they've been playing or anything. But yeah, like you said, the music part was great. Like as far as like just having a lot of good pieces there, you could tell they could all play really well. Just as far as takeaways though, like it's either the mixing needs to be addressed or the actual recording itself or performance as far as that goes. I feel like a band like this didn't really translate that well to that recording, and I'm not trying to be a harsh critique either. I barely could hear any snare the whole time, and in any kind of metal, death metal, like I need to be hearing that snare like slapping me the whole time because I couldn't really tell sometimes where the groove was because the snare just disappeared, and there was just a lot of highs in the cymbals and a lot of highs in the guitar tones, so it was just like the whole mix was sucked up by highs, and I couldn't really tell anything else that was happening, just to discern as far as like mix. But I just feel like these guys have a great foundation, and like going forward, they have some great pieces, especially if that's kind of, obviously it's early with this demo, and then it sounds like, with the 3 guitars and so on and so forth. But man, a lot of good pieces there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just reading the message that they sent us to make sure. I don't know if they called it a demo or if we're calling it an EP. It just says single. So, I guess, for a young band, a new band, a really great first step forward, a really great showing out, like, with the song. I think it slaps. I think it's a great song, and I want to hear it live. Just, all things being equal, I wouldn't sit here and only speak to the good things. I would say that production quality was the last thing that I needed to speak to be an honest, genuine like listener and give you honest, critical feedback. Like that the bass drum and like the snare, like those are the two issues for me. Like just in terms of the sound quality, I'm not gonna beat it up, but we've had many producers on the show. You guys maybe have heard some of those names, so. Just know what you want to sound like at the end of the day. Like whatever CD is on your shelf that you want to sound like, make sure you take that to the guy and or figure out how to do that yourself, which could be a tall mountain, a many years climb.
and that might be something in this case, like, oh, hey, we decided to try to get some music out there ourselves. Maybe no one's a producer in the band, and that's, what came out or whatever. We understand all aspects, so we're not judging on any aspect. We're just giving you honest feedback on how we think it could be better, especially if you want to listen to something that's top notch, listen to that Absence production. That was the first song on this episode. Like it's hard to match that kind of production. Obviously that was super, like professional, but like as far as production, you wanted to get it closer to that, you know. Especially with metal, you got to have it translate on CD, you know.
On wax.
Yeah.
On wax, it's got to be something that you can discern audibly, yeah.
Because I'm also listening to that, and I'm just thinking, like, if I'm standing in front of these guys, how heavy as shit that would be live.
Oh, God.
Like, how sick they got to be live. Like, just with all of the vibe and the amps and everything in your face. I was like, man, these guys are heavy.
Oh, I bet they rip live.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet they absolutely rip live, yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, all in all good things, man. And like, you guys got a great foundation. Sounded cool. I mean, as far as like the music and performance wise, just get that recording and demos tightened up a little bit. Plus, we listen to a lot on this show, so we kind of know what we're listening for. So,
and then end of day too. That is something that we always talk about on the show, even with the guests. We always talk about. Tell us about the recording. Walk us through how did that go down? Who recorded it? Who mixed it? Who mastered it? We always talk about those things. So it's only fair for us to talk about those things. You know, and with transparency and honesty when we listen to your guys' stuff. We don't do it every time. A lot of times we'll just say, great job on the recording and the mix and the production and all that, and we just kind of focus in on the music. But that's why we talk about it, because I want to focus on the music and not the production quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want the production quality already where it should be. So they're getting there.
That's a good way to put it, and I guess I never really thought about it like that, because you have never really framed it like that. But when you're kind of distracted from the music because of the recording or production, then that's when the issue occurs, right?
Yeah, that's when I want to just address it and say, yeah, this is a sick song, and I just want it to be like a better record. And we say that about some of our favorite artists too, and you see that in history, like with a remaster or a reissue or something like that. So it's you know nobody's immune to it. Not even the best of the best.
I mean, and we've went through the same struggles. I mean, go back and listen to Architect. That doesn't sound good.
Right. Nope.
You know, we worked our asses off on it, but it doesn't sound good, to no one's real fault, but of just needing more time to figure it out and
learning how to do it.
Exactly. You know, so, but yeah, moving on. Another, I think, I guess, semi-local. Bound by Vendetta. It says new song 10:30, end of a rope. We are from all over Toledo to Kalamazoo. Band started spring of 24, so a new band. All members have played music for 20 plus years, pulling inspiration from everything from 90s Florida death metal to Wigger Slam and even EDM and dubstep. The project is about a full sonic assault with themes like pedophile hunting, hanging politicians, and certain nefarious power players. We have an axe to grind. Ryan Sixmisters on vocals. Sorry, dude, that I don't know. Greg Rosau. Taylor Ryan Williams, Roman Treyev, and Nick Sawicki. Man, them are some tough names, man. Holy moly, dudes.
It would appear these guys perhaps from a Polish neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to discern these names, but
I mean, they said from Kalamazoo to Toledo, yeah, so not too far away or anything, but and then you got the one that says new song queued up, right, Nick?
Yeah, the YouTube link at the bottom.
Okay, so let me just get this queued up real quick. Try to catch the pause before it just, man, YouTube don't even let you hit pause before the ad, dude. It's insane.
I like the artwork. It's simple but effective.
Yeah. All right, you ready? Bound by Vendetta, end of a rope. 3, 2, 1.
You get caught with a smuggled kid that's been raped, we're going to hang your ass in public. By the way, no more lethal injection. I want these people hung in front of the Capitol. Hang them high. I want them hung. I want to see them kicking and twitching at the end of a damn rope. I want them dead. Now!
Man.
Oh, okay. That was heavy. That kind of reminded me of some of that MySpace era deathcore, to be honest. To me, that was pretty deathcore. I mean, but wow, that was heavy. I mean, the recording itself almost sounds like maybe the drums are programmed, but they have a drummer, so I know, but the drums were sick on that, like especially all that double bass work and everything.
Yeah.
Super cool. The riffs were heavy. The only thing that I could, if there was anything, it was just maybe the bass a little bit. I kind of would have liked to hear a little
in the mix,
a little more bass in the mix. But
I heard some. It was that HM2 bass thunder rolling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was rolling. But man, that was heavy. That was cool. Nice little 2 minutes of pissed off right in your face. Can't ask for much more than that. And yeah, I would love to see that live as well. It's pretty cool. I love the sample at the beginning too. That was awesome.
Yeah, I loved everything about that. That was great. Again, one of those bands where they didn't have to lean on a whole lot of melody. Those were just pissy riffs all day long, heavy in your face, just sharp teeth, gnashing. I wanted to point out that middle section where everybody kind of had like a little, like one bar or like one measure, where they did like this little dynamic shift from one riff into the next and everybody had a little part. I love when bands do something that tight where everybody's got a you, go. And they nailed that. And that tells me there's some really great musicians and they have a really great system between them. And they communicate with each other. If you can do that in a song, you can do that live. Like, I really feel like you got a great cohesive unit of musicians working together there. Just in a simple little moment like that, it really says a lot to me. So I felt like they had some great playing. I don't know if you can put a guitar solo in a song that heavy. Like, it was just so punishing. Like, I don't need a guitar solo for that one. So when we say, do you need a solo in every song? Not really. This guy's vocals were amazing. Those riffs were heavy. I loved everything about it, to be honest with you. There was a really dirty distort. We talk about like a raw sounding recording, but sounding as it should, because there was clarity for me in everything. That the bass didn't have maybe the punch that you were looking for, or the pop or the brightness, but it was definitely rumbling, dirty, distorted bass in there that I could hear this rumbling low with those guitars. I loved the track. I loved the message.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just for like somebody getting up there and saying that shit right now. And they did a great job of delivering everything I wanted out of a song that angry. Like, that there's something to be angry about. They nailed it. So good job, Bound by Vendetta. Man, make your way up north here a little bit. You know, we got venues that would have you in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, obviously, Lansing, Detroit. Like to see that name pop up on some of these flyers in our state.
Yeah, I've been seeing their name. I think I'm friends with Greg on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
So he commented on one of the Biscuit Merchant videos because they had played at that same place that he was playing or something too. So, yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for the send-in, dudes. Appreciate that. We'll be looking forward to more from y'all. This says, Fitz here from Omittance, vocalist / guitar. Been following you guys for a while. I like the page, seeing who's who out there. Was wondering if you would be up for checking out our latest release, Narcissist. It's up on most streaming platforms now. Hope you enjoying it and look forward to your future content. So thank you, Fitz. We appreciate that, supporting the show. And so where are you going with this one, brother? You just going to Spotty?
Yep, I got it queued up.
Spotty?
Yeah, it's already ready. I'm going to start with a little bit of feedback.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Going to the old Spotty.
I like the logo, which I would, while we're waiting, I like the band name, like the font on the band name, Omittance, and I like the artwork, like a couple of photographs superimposed with some color filter, like simple, but get like with the title of the track and the image is nice.
Effective. All right, ready?
Yeah.
3,
let me get hovering.
2, 1.
Am I up?
You're up.
I have the worst time keeping track of whose turn to speak first. Man, that was great. This feels like something new to me, a little bit new. I would almost invent the term doomcore for this guy. I absolutely love this. This was great for me because while it did have a feeling of an overall deathcore song, it was delivered so well. Like there was a lot of patience developing that intro. He utilized a very simple but effective melody. And when he was, doing the harsh, low, death vocals over it, I thought, man, I if this guy could sing over this little melody, that would put like the cherry on the top. I don't need a whole lot of singing, but that melody was, it was so like easy and beautiful. I was like, he's got to be able to sing on this. And sure enough, you get to the last 30 seconds of the song, and he peppers in just a little light background, clean vocal, and very musical for what otherwise would be like a deathcore song with a lot of, doom goth groove influence there. So for me, this was great. Little guitar solo in there too, or melody, like a lot of melody for this style of song. And Omittance, let me get the fella's name here. Fitz, great job, man. Great send-in. I absolutely love that. I'm big fan, right? Day one fan right here. Loved it.
Yeah, for me, what I loved about it is 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 30 seconds of feedback. But then, kind of got that main slow riff through there, but you didn't go on for 9 minutes. So it almost felt like the song was longer than even what it was. So, you captured that, being able to get your point across in such a small amount of time, but also being able to have, not be so repetitive. But I thought it was interesting as well because of the melody in it. Like, the way all the pieces laid together, I was just very interesting and very, it was emotional. It made you feel something. But then it was heavy on top of that second guitar doing all that locking in with the drums and everything. It was very cool. Like you said, almost something new. I haven't really heard anything like this. I mean, it lends itself well to a lot of things, but as far as being its own thing, it kind of is. And man, we don't discover too many bands like that on this show. So
no.
It was good, but saying doomcore, you could get away with that for sure, because there was some hardcore, some deathcore-ish type things, but also just that doom droney stuff.
Yeah,
melodic in the background. Vocals rule too.
For me, this also kind of lends itself well to a track one of an album where you do a really slow instrumental piece, but then track two rolls out and it's chaka 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 chaka. This guy could have a thrash metal song or a death thrash song, roll out next. Something to kind of switch it up where because if the whole album, I would dare say, cannot be that slow.
Oh yeah,
you got to pick it up, right? Like track two probably has a lot of potential for pick up the pace. Got to have that too. But with the melody and the heaviness and all of the different vocal, variations right there, and even some of the production work, a lot of promise there with Omittance. I loved it. Great send-in.
Yeah, thanks, Fitz. Appreciate that. All right, and the last one for today's episode is Nothing After This. This is Rob from Atwater's other band. Unfortunately, I think this is the only communication that I got was, here's a remastered version of Happy Accidents. We have another song, Wild Night, that has been released and plan on releasing one more song on New Year's. So it is a Google Drive link, but he didn't give me much more than that. I've seen some stuff that he's posted with him playing guitar in this band. And I've enjoyed what I've heard so far. So
yes,
I guess we're here to check this out. I wish I had some more information, but in this particular format, I'm not going to go search around the internet because it'll probably steal away from the Zoom quality. So I don't have nothing to say more for Nothing After This at the moment.
Well, but only that Rob's the homie, and we love Rob. Thanks for the send-in, Rob.
Absolutely. So
appreciate
you. You let me know when you're ready, bro.
Ready, brother.
3, 2, 1.
Is it sad? Is it sad? Tell me!
Okay, man, that was heavy. That was in your face. Yeah, that was steamrolling. Love the vocals. I love when he did the little falsetto thing, and he had the callbacks in there, especially with this kind of music, because some of the beats were a little strange on it. Like they were just like, I'm not sure if I'm grooving. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like the snare just hit kind of strange, so it wasn't. Yeah. It was cool. I will say a positive and a negative in one sentence with it, though. I absolutely love the second guitar part, all the little stuff going on behind there. But at some point, I think you got to kind of stop that, because when it goes through almost the whole song, it kind of takes away from the effect. For me, at least, it almost becomes like overused. Like you maybe jump in and start playing that heavy riff a couple times or something, just to make it a little more progressive for me. Although it was great what was happening the whole time, me personally, I wouldn't do it the whole time, because it's almost too much after a little bit. I know some of it served as transition to go into the next parts, because you just sustain that, but still there's ways to not overuse that, especially if you have four other songs and it's all doing that same thing. But other than that, it was absolutely great. The riffs were cool. It was heavy as shit. Drums were super tight. Sounded great. Production was awesome. Big fan of the band. Nothing, that was the only little critique I would have had about it. Other than that, it was great, because the callbacks and just the songwriting was there and the riffs were there. So awesome job.
I love the song. Great stuff. Great send in. Loved all the vocals. Really a great melodic metalcore song with a lot of djenty elements. To the second guitar part, I love that he was doing like a really simple, maybe tap part for a lot of it too. So that was kind of like breaking up from just the dissonant melody that it was like open and carrying throughout the rest of it. I like to call it like the strobe lighthouse effect, where it just goes circular around and around, and it's like the whole, it's just kind of like a lighthouse light going in a circle all night. You know what I mean? It's just kind of there to let you know there's the beacon there, and you just kind of go on that. You just kind of watch it go round and around the whole time, and I don't mind it. I just think that, like you said, for a song, great. I love it. And I love bands that do utilize the second guitar over the rhythm. Like that actually makes it have a purpose. Always to your point, though, anytime number 2 jumps in the same boat as number 1, super impactful. Yeah. So that, like that's definitely something to look at and look forward to in other songs for sure. But I love that second guitar melody the whole time. And again, great vocal diversity. The only thing maybe is, if we're handing out just what things I would look at is like maybe, like you said, some of that snare placement where it was like I'm trying to groove with you, but I'm kind of relying on the rhythm of the guitar sometimes, because that was the only element for me where I was like also kind of like, I know we're doing the djent thing, but sometimes you want that. Everything is so complicated in a djent that the one thing I need to rely on is that snare just kind of being on the 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're absolutely grooves, but it was a good song. It was a great send in, and I'm gonna be a fan of anything Rob's a part of, just because anytime his name is tied to it right now, I'm feeling like that's probably going to be something I enjoy, and so far it's been the case every single time. Batting 1,000, Rob. Good send in.
And he's a grinder, so
kudos to Rob. He hustles. Yeah.
Nothing after this, so go check that band out. With that being said, anything else as far as this reaction episode goes?
Man, what a great bunch of send-ins collectively. Another episode that I feel strongly about. Every single song that we played, even if there were some critiques. I really hope people got their britches on when we listen to songs, because I'm going to give you as many compliments as you've worked hard to earn. But every time it's like, if there's something that maybe on a production standpoint or whatever, if we call it out, it's only supposed to be constructive. And I would never want anybody to say, oh, these guys are okay, but they're they're always handing out these critiques, and it's like I want to give you a little bit of something that says, yeah, you did great, but I want to motivate you to always do better. Every single band that sends us in something, like, just always going to want to motivate you to look at your work and say, yeah, it was great. Maybe we can do better next time, because you got to have that fire too, I think. So,
well, we're listening from an objective perspective, so we can give you that honest feedback, and we've been doing this a long, long time. So I'm not afraid to give feedback, right. Especially when it comes to production and what I want to hear. Because usually we don't, even though we give compliments, even though if it's not our thing, that's, if it's not, so it's never based on our personal preference. When we start critiquing, it's getting into the mechanical and technical abilities that should not be I guess they should be, something that's not just in the periphery, more something that should be brought within. So I think, and if you've listened to any other episodes of the show, as far as them, these reaction episodes, and then you send us a song, you know what you're going to get. So
100%. I always feel like I want to kind of put it in a little disclaimer at the end of it, but I love all the send-ins, great work, great music. I'm so stoked on hearing new music that sounds so good from new artists. Like, anytime we do these episodes, I always walk away going, I just learned, 7 or 8 new bands today. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. And I will say one quick thing before we let this go. Sometimes I look at it as like the boss employee relationship too. It's like, I'm not really here to be your friend. Like, I'd love to be your friend. We're friendly guys. We but I may never meet you or anything. And you sent me your music, so this is our show. Yeah. We might critique it a little bit. Sorry. I mean, it's just the way it goes, but we're not here to be dicks, and we're not here to run anybody's art into the ground, and we'll never do that, because that's not kind of the guys we are, not the podcast we want to be. So with that being said, thanks for all the send-ins, and much love to you guys. Keep it metal. Peace.
Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.